Hey, this is Brent Jensen, and you are listening to No Sleep Till Sudbury, the show where we talk about the music that makes your skin vibrate. The show is brought to you by Pariah Pickups, handcrafting awesome guitar pickups all the way down in Detroit Rock City. Check them out, pariahpickups.com. And to support the No Sleep Till Sudbury show on Patreon, folks, visit patreon.com/Brent Jensen Music. Super easy. All right, this week I'm joined by none other than Mr. Zero, guitarist of the Kings. You might know them best for their mega hit, This Beat Goes On, Switchin To Glide, but there's a new Kings record in the works, and lots of other stuff going on in the Kings camp lately too. Have a listen. Zero, welcome to the show, man. Welcome back, I should say.
Yeah, Brent, thanks for having me on again. It was a lot of fun the other time, and there's been some water under the bridge. Those were back in the before times, and now we're in the present times.
That's right. Unfortunately, we have to do this one over the phone. The last one we did was in person.
That was nice. A studio setup, and you'll be back to it. I know you will. So we'll get back to it as well.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll have you back in. We'll definitely do that. You, my friend, have been a very busy man lately. There are projects in the works. The Kings are currently celebrating some incredible milestones at the moment. So let's start with that. You are in your 40th anniversary of the release of the first record that came out in August 1980. And Beat was inducted into the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame.
That's right. Our single, This Beat Goes On, Switchin To Glide. We're very proud of that. And this sort of came out of left field. It was something that we certainly weren't expecting. And I got this email one day and it was like, wow, really? Because there's, some things that are not in there. Let's put it that way. And some other artists with songs that are, more successful and charted higher than us. I think that it does deserve to be in there because it's actually a very creative, well-executed piece of music. And so we're very gratified and very happy to receive that. And we had a fun time when they gave us the presentation. We got to go play it at the newly renovated El Macombo.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they sort of tie it in with one of the, I think, CTV morning shows. And so they were able to coordinate the broadcast with our performing it at the Elmo. And it was such a treat to be in that place again. Of course, we played there many, many times back in the day, upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah.
I mean, the job that Michael Weckerly has done there is, no expense was spared because he's got a lot of money.
I heard he did a great job with it. I've talked to a couple people about that.
Yeah, and the whole place is wired for sound and video too. Upstairs, then there's another, room. The downstairs is back, and it's bigger and better than ever with a bigger stage and everything. And the whole place can be made into a video studio and audio and everything.
That's awesome.
And the guy goes and spends, I don't know, $20 million or whatever, and then COVID hits, and he can't even.
I know.
He can't even open it up.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that when the time comes, it'll be a very worthwhile addition to the live music scene in Toronto. And God knows how many of them are going to be shuttered forever because of the way things have gone in the last year. So. Fortunately, his deep pockets will be able to keep it floating, and we all look forward to that day.
I do, for sure. So you are deserved of some extra congratulations here. So that Beat Goes On, Switchin To Glide single also has now achieved gold status, and the record, The Kings Are Here, has reached the platinum sales mark recently. Yeah,
well, that happened, as a result of. I'm pretty sure that it's been eligible for a really long time. But there's just been kind of a confusing situation with us and Warner Canada. And again, it was sort of part of the same 40th anniversary year of the release of that stuff. And I just thought one day, I know that we got to be eligible for this. And we did get some gold records for the album back in, I think it was qualified in 82 or something. But I just wondered about it. It had to have passed the other platinum mark by now. And so I got hold of them, and it took a couple months for them to sort of track it all down. And at least, they've been nice enough to pay for those awards, the kind you hang on the wall, the gold record awards. So Warner is paying for ours, and so the four guys in the band get it, and our producer, Bob Ezrin. So And Bob was, when I got hold of him and told him about it, he was thrilled. I don't know if you know how many gold records Bob Ezra has, but
Oh, I can imagine.
I mean, he doesn't even display them at his studio in Nashville. I mean, he might have one or two on the wall, but he's got hundreds probably of them, and from all over the world.
Hmm.
Pink Floyd. I mean, how many countries did that go platinum in or whatever? I mean, not to mention Kiss and Peter
Alice Cooper.
Gabriel and Alice Cooper. you know, so that's a lot of fun too. Is that we can all get a kick out of reaching that milestone, and again. It'll be something else that's nice to hang on our walls as well to go
Totally.
along with the Canadian Songwriter Hall of Fame award that we got. And we also got a SOCAN Classic Award
Wow.
few years ago, which passes 100,000 plays on Canadian radio and that. So, there are some nice little milestones, like you say, that, that go along with some of this stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, nobody's driving a Ferrari over here, but, but even if, I could, I don't think I would.
There you go.
So anyway, so yeah, there's been some nice things happening with some recognition. And I just noticed that the video that we made for This Beat Goes On and Switchin To Glide just passed 4.5 million plays, I guess, this
Wow.
week. And so that's kind of neat too. And it's sort of got a life of its own. And we're very happy that we were able to make this video because 40 years ago when this thing came out, it was before rock videos were really a thing. There was a few bands that made them, but there was before MTV and before Much Music and all that. And so we never really had one. And then I guess sometime in the between 2005, 2010, somewhere in there, I started working on our documentary about our band called The Anatomy of a One-Hit Wonder. The first thing up was to make a video for This Beat and Switchin To Glide. I had an idea to try to incorporate live footage and sync it all together to the studio version of it. And we went into every box and every attic and everywhere else to try to find old videotapes and all the different formats of video, from Betamax to Beta SP, VHS to 16 millimeter film, 8 millimeter film, every kind of format you can think of, and then have it all transferred and then try to find little bits. And so it took over 140 hours to edit a 5.5-minute video.
Oof.
And so it was, quite a labor of love, and we're so happy with it, then people love it so much. I'm happy that we didn't make a video back in the day, because if you look at any videos from the early 80s, they're all pretty lousy. The technology just wasn't very good back then.
Mm-hmm.
And, and the concepts, not to mention the clothing and the hairstyles. So we're lucky in that way. This thing will stand up forever, and it shows us, as we want to be shown, which is on stage playing live. Comments on it are just incredible, how much people love it. And so it makes us very happy to see that. And we try to answer every comment on Facebook and every comment on YouTube and everything, because it's nice to just try to stay in touch with the people that like the band. So we're happy to do it.
I'm glad you guys do that. I've seen the video. I think it's great. I thought you did a great job with it.
Yeah. At this point, it's sort of all about trying to do good work. You know what I mean? Who knows what the future will bring, or whatever the legacy or whatever might be. But if we just try to keep doing our best, writing and recording, and hopefully sometimes making these videos, just trying to do a good job with it, and then they'll stand on their own. And so that's another good thing.
Well, it's a good segue into your latest project. So you have got a new single from, I think it's going to be an upcoming record eventually. And it's a dance mashup video for the new single, I Know So. It's great. I've seen that one too. It's perfectly synchronized clips of very cool classic dance footage. Some of it you've seen before, some of it you haven't. There's performance by Count Basie, there's Buddy Rich, and Margaret is on there. You had messaged me and said, have a look at this, it's going to put a smile on your face. And you're right, it did. I loved it.
Well, that's good. Another one that's had a lot of super positive reactions as well. And, you can look at the metrics or the analytics when you post a video on YouTube, and that. Particularly interesting one is the gender, because, we're a sort of rock band and that. And so a lot of the time our male to female ratio was like 80-20.
Mm-hmm.
male to women. And then on this one, and it might be because the freeze frame, the thing you see when you pull it up on YouTube, is a picture of a pretty girl. That might have something to do with it. And she's a dancer in a Busby Berkeley movie that I found when I was looking for all this stuff. And so we're getting 70% women and 30% men on that song now.
Oh,
and it's like,
wow,
never happened before. So it's kind of a neat introduction for some new people to get into the band and go deeper, as well, because we always try to encourage them. The same with Switchin To Glide. We got more than one good song, so why don't you check out some of our other stuff? Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's been a lot of fun, and that one it's doing pretty well. Had over 11,000 views now, I guess, approaching 12. So it's and people, again, they say the nicest things. How can you feel bad about it when people just tell you how much they love you every day? It's a good thing.
From all over the place.
From all over, yeah. Even the stuff that we sell. I mean, we don't sell a lot of stuff, but it's, sometimes you go, well, where? Okay, I'm sending a T-shirt to this. Where is that? And you look on the map, and you go, that is in the middle of nowhere. And you go, how the hell did they ever hear about us?
Yeah.
It's amazing. I don't know if you know what Lake Superior looks like. It looks kind of like a dog's mouth, kind of like a dog with that little peninsula that sort of forms the dog's mouth. That's in the middle of nowhere, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a little town on that thing, and there's a guy there wearing a King's T-shirt.
Perfect.
God bless that guy.
All right. Well, maybe he's listening today.
Maybe,
You
yeah.
never know. So if he is going to hear 3 songs that are completely unique. So now you and I talked about these 3 songs, and you did something completely different here. So you said to me you wanted to go where no guest has gone before, and I think that over 200 plus episodes, you've pretty much done that. So the concept that you selected is opera singers singing more mainstream songs that were huge hits.
Yeah.
Right? So there's 3 of them here. And the first one is Celine Dion and Andrea Bocelli, The Prayer.
Yeah, well, that one is, I think that sometimes, it's had a couple bevies or something around midnight, and you turn on the computer and you go to YouTube. And sometimes you just don't want to, rock out, so to speak, I guess. Here's some great singing and some really great songwriting. And, that was with David Foster and Carol Bayer Sager wrote it. But I think the original Italian version or whatever came from Alberto Testa and Tony Rena.
Hmm.
And they co-wrote Quando, 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 which is another. Tell me Quando, Quando, Quando. That was their other big song. And so I guess they wrote this thing, and then the Foster and Carol Bayer Sager, rewrote the lyrics. It's just a beautiful, beautiful song. And, Celine, she's such a great singer. The thing about Celine Dion, I think, is that, I thought that she was, square kind of, and I thought, well, I'm a rocker, Celine Dion's Vegas and square and everything like that. And then, one day I was in a gas station. I pumped my gas, and I went in to pay for the gas. And, the girl at the cash register had her radio, her phone on, and she was listening to Celine Dion. And I thought, well, who's the square here? I think it's me, because, this young girl is listening to Celine Dion, and, she's enjoying it a lot. And I'm thinking, well,
why isn't she listening to the Kings?
Be nice if she was listening to the King too. But I just kind of switched gears on that one. I just thought, well, and then, she's just such a great singer and holds her own with anybody. She's obviously a worldwide superstar. And so, and the song is so beautiful, it's with orchestra, and of course, Andrea Bocelli is just, what a guy, he's a classy guy. And this is real music and real singing, it's not just cock rock,
Yep.
And so that's what I enjoy about it. And that's what I enjoy about all 3 of these pieces, the music that I pick for this, is because, it's an escape from that kind of thing, and I find it very, uplifting. And of course, this is no secret. There's just this gigantic audience that loves this music. I mean, that thing has, what, 133 million plays or something on it.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Well, your next one here also features Andrea Bocelli, and it's with Sarah Brightman. It's Time to Say Goodbye.
Right. And it's in the same kind of vein in that, I mean, Bocelli, I mean, you can't go wrong with this guy. You know, he's unbelievable. And Bob Ezrin produced his latest album.
Oh,
Which
is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it came out last year, and it went #1 in England and a few countries in Europe and all that. And I sent him a little thing saying, "Hey, nice to be back in #1." He said, "It sure is," So
Yeah.
and I think that took a couple of years to make with traveling all over the world to work with Andrea and that. But of course, Bob's classically trained and everything, and so he can do that no problem. But of course, Sarah Brightman is just this another incredible, maybe a little more formally trained than Celine Dion, but just a voice of an angel as well, and these songs are it's just another way of looking at music. I think it's not necessarily, better or worse or anything else. It's just different, and it's something that I enjoy at a certain point, and I still like rocking out a lot of the time, but sometimes these things really appeal to me. And I think that for the mainstream, with some different language stuff going on in there, and it's the same with the next song coming up, but I mean, they're singing in a different language, and they sound more beautiful than maybe a direct translation might go, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The tone and the enunciation of the different dialects. I find it really inspiring, and of course, the melodies and the singing and the harmonies that they use with these orchestras, it's just unbelievable. It's just fantastic.
Yeah. I really keyed into what you said there about later on at night after a couple of beverages, you go looking for this stuff. Most every Friday night, what I'll do, probably around 11 or 12 after everybody's in bed, is I will set up, and listen to stuff that I wouldn't normally listen to, like, the rock stuff or whatever. I'll listen to Steely Dan records or Police records or something different. But that time of night, I think you're just kind of more dialed in and your mind is more receptive to the sonics and the emotions that kind of come along with it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and, YouTube is, as much as it is sort of the biggest ripoff to artists, I mean, you got to love it. I mean, if you want something, it's on there. And, you can go deep into Sinatra or, which I do sometimes, or whoever, or obscure stuff live, all your favorite bands with live footage on there, including the Kings. We have lots of, live videos on there. Around midnight, it's just a fun thing to do, like you say, on a Friday night. And you can just be stuck on that thing for hours at a time, going deeper and deeper. It's fun.
Definitely. Your third tune, my friend, is Pavarotti, Carrerras, and Domingo. And this is a song, and you know what? When I saw this, I realized that way back on episode 54, somebody else brought this in, a guy named Ron Tite. Nessun, Dorma.
Yeah, Nessun, Dorma.
Yeah.
And it's from a Puccini opera, Turandot. And it's one of those ones, again, that I think that he's singing in, Italian, I guess. And so you go, boy, I'm glad he's not singing that in English. Because it would have no charm. It would have no, the emotion and the meaning is sort of, it just doesn't seem to be there. And every singer who thinks he's a singer has tried to sing that song. Tons of versions. Freddie Mercury, was on there trying it. And, a lot of people have tried it. And there's numerous videos up there with just Pavarotti singing it. But this one, the link that I gave for this, some of the three tenors, and it's sort of near the end of the show, and might even be the end of the show because it's such a giant hit for people in the opera world. Luciano Pavarotti sings the first part, and then Carrerras and Placido Domingo, sing the other parts as it goes along. You can see them; they're kind of kibitzing and having fun with it, and trying to, like, I think it's kind of staged, but it is fun to watch. They go, "Cause who's going next? You or me? Are you going next? Me or you?" And so they get that together, and then at the end they all sing together. But for me, it was like, okay, the three tenors. I mean, they're the big names to come out of the last 40 or 50 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And and you can see that they're all great, but I think that this demonstrates that Pavarotti was the man. Like the other guys are great. They are really great. But when you hear Luciano Pavarotti singing, you just go, boy, no wonder he was the star of,
Yeah.
The biggest of the big in that world, because he can really, and the tone of his voice and everything about it is just incredible. And that song is just so beautiful. And it's only 3 minutes long, but the more you listen to it and you realize, and it goes in this quiet bit in the middle, which is really neat because they're singing, and then it just goes into instrumental part, and then it comes back with these incredible, hooks. It's a hooky song,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing translates to all music. There's hooks in everything.
That's
and
right.
That's what people pick up on. That's why all the great music from all the different times have things that are memorable, and those, for lack of a better word, are hooks.
Yeah. Yeah.
From Beethoven on down. And I just thought that these 3 songs, they're really just beautiful. And like I say, instead of just your average, rock and roll, and look at nobody likes the Beatles and all this stuff more, Led Zeppelin and the Stones and everything more than me, but I think I think it's awesome music, and so I thought it'd be fun to share it with you and your audience. So thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me do it.
Oh, gee, I'm glad that you did. When we were talking about you wanting to do something different, I didn't imagine that you were going to do this, but I think it's great. It was a great idea, and I would actually invite people to listen to this stuff and put everything else aside for a little while and just let this stuff play. It'll open your mind up.
Well, it really will, and it's just so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Our kind of rock and roll and all this stuff, it's a lot of things and pushes a lot of buttons, but I don't know if it's ever, beautiful. And
Beautiful in a different way.
Yeah. But this is just beautiful music and sung by the greatest singers you can imagine.
That's right.
And I highly recommend them for those Friday nights, when you're digging deep.
Yeah, it's true. And I'll do that tomorrow night again. I set up the furniture so that the chair is, lined up with all the speakers in the room, and I turn it up and I pour myself a drink, and that's it, man. It's a glorious time.
Yeah, it really is. Until the time we can go sit in a bar and listen to a loud rock band at midnight on a Friday. I guess
Exactly.
that's going to be what we're doing,
Yeah, it's an acceptable substitute.
Yeah, it is. Highly recommended that people at least check it out. Compared to a lot of what's going on, I think that this is music for the soul, and it's very gratifying.
Yeah, agree. I'm glad you did it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate this. It was great to talk to you again.
Well, Brent, let's do it again when we can get in person, or let's just go have a cocktail sometime downtown.
We definitely will. And when you guys get back out there and get some gigs, I'm going to come see you. But you and I are definitely having a drink at some point.
All right. That sounds great.
All right.
Thanks for your time again, Brent. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I will be in touch. Take good care, my friend.
Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. This has been No Sleep Till Sudbury with Brent Jensen and my very special guest, Zero from the Kings. Till next time, folks. Take good care.
Brent Jensen is the best-selling author of No Sleep Till Sudbury, Leftover People, and All My Favorite People Are Broken. All titles available in stores and on Amazon worldwide.